Guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec and I'm your host. And before anything else, welcome back to the show. I know I haven't uploaded last week, but now here I am. And I'm so happy that you guys are still here. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, and welcome back. Welcome to the show. If you enjoyed this episode, then go ahead and check out the amazing episodes that we have here on Small Talk, here on Spotify, so that you can get valuable insights that can help you make better decisions for yourself and for the people around you. And if this is your nth time listening to the podcast, then welcome back to the show. I am so happy to see you guys all committed in becoming better versions of yourselves. And so for this episode, I would like to talk about one thing that I feel like is very important if we want to become the best version of ourselves. I've given a talk in Southwestern Finma, and I talked about this to high school students, and I thought to myself, if I had known this growing up, if I had known this coming into college, coming into the workplace, I would probably, I'm probably way ahead of where I am right now, but it's still great that I learned this. And so this topic basically covers about why we need to step away from our weaknesses and focus on our strength. And so before we talk about it, I want you to get a piece of paper, and I want you to get a pen, and I want you to pause this podcast, okay, for our activity. And it's going to be a short activity, okay? So I want you to list down at the top of your head all of your weaknesses and all of your strengths. Okay, things that you want to get better at and things that you're already good at. All right? Okay, go. Pause this one, and then when you're done, play it again. Go. All right. So I'm assuming that you paused it and now you're here again. If you can't, then you can get it back later after this episode when you have the time to sit down and write your answers to it. And if you're driving, please do not write while you're on the road. I hope still practice safety. And so I'm assuming that if you finish the activity, some of you guys had a hard time writing down their weaknesses and their strengths. And that's okay. If you guys are one of them who had a hard time, that's okay. Right? Now, some of you guys wrote down when it comes to writing down your weaknesses, it was a much easier task for you to write down your weaknesses versus your strength. And again, that's okay. Right? But if you guys are very well aware and you have an easy task writing down your strengths, then I applaud you. Congratulations. You have a good amount of self-awareness. But if you are one of those who had a hard time writing down their weaknesses, then I'm assuming that you are just like, one of us who are the regular people, the average people, especially the people who are starting their journey towards self-improvement. And I want you to understand that it's okay. Why? Because of this phenomenon that we believe that happens in our brains. It's called the negativity bias. Okay? We are so focused. We are initially called to react on our problems first. How can we fix the problems that we have, right? The wrong things, the bad things, the unpleasant things that are happening around us, that's where we focus initially. Yeah, our brains are designed to look at the threats available out there. So we have this negativity bias, right? But in becoming the best version of yourself, here's what I learned, especially in the workplace. There are negative 26.8%, okay? Negative 26.8% change in productivity when a person is focusing on their weakness. Okay, there is a 26.8% decline in productivity when someone is focusing on their weakness. On the other hand, there is a 37.4% change positively boost in productivity when you focus on your strength. So just by these numbers, if you are not focusing on your strength, you would know that your productivity would dip. Okay, and it would dip. And if it dips, it's going to be scary because your productivity is basically what will define your accomplishments moving forward. So we need to be productive as possible. We need to be efficient as possible. And so this research, if it shows that we are seeing a huge decline once we focus on our negativity, maybe we should try to focus on our strength, not our weaknesses. I am assuming that most of you guys know who Michael Jordan is, right? So who's Michael Jordan? Uh-huh. Okay, so Michael Jordan is one of the most average baseball player who has played in professional history. What? That's not his that's not his trademark. Yes, I know. But after he won 3 championships, he actually retired and he went to play baseball. And when he did, he became average. He tried to focus on his weakness and he might have been okay, but he was not the best at what he was doing. And after his short stint in playing baseball, he went back to basketball and he actually won 3 more championships. So just by the story of Michael Jordan, we would know that if we use our talents, and we all have talents, if we use our talents, our gifts, our traits, our skills, where it is not designed for us to succeed, it would fail. If we focus on our weaknesses, then we have a low chance of becoming the best at what we can do. Fixing our weaknesses is very harmful. And at best, will just make us average. Focusing on our strengths, that's when the game changes. Once we focus on our strength, we can tap into the full potential that we have. We can have better results. We can have better performance. We have better energy. And we would have more fun. Who doesn't want to be more fun, to experience more fun, right? So let me tell you a little bit of background on why this topic also means a lot to me. As you may know, I studied at Mapua, where I studied manufacturing engineering. And although I like math, I wasn't particularly good at it. I mean, I was okay at it, but I enrolled in an engineering school. And so when I entered there, my first term, I actually got rewarded with 2 failing grades. I failed basic algebra and I failed basic trigonometry. The most fundamental subjects in engineering, I failed them. And I looked around, I saw everyone who passed, some of the peers that I have passed. And I was like, okay, maybe this is not exactly my strength, but I still went on. You know, I needed to go through Mapua. I want to finish Mapua. I wanted to finish Mapua, and so I went on. You know, trying to look at how can I make my weaknesses better. Okay, but I noticed some glimpses along the way, especially in the last years of my Mapua life. When there were presentations when there were moments where I had to go in front and talk and speak and present, I would love it. I actually have a clip. I can't show you here right now, but I actually have a clip when I was reporting and I really enjoyed it. I was in the flow. I had I had a great time doing it and I was very good at it. And so there were glimpses that maybe my strength falls upon communicating and not really in designing or trying to solve a problem. It's more like communicating my thoughts, the complex ideas into simple thoughts that people can understand. And so when I saw that, I said to myself, I need to find a way where I could practice or where I could use my strength. And so that's when I started this podcast. I said I wanted to communicate, and so I'll use this podcast as a platform to focus on my strength. And when that happened, I just used this as a practice platform, and the rest is history. This podcast is now the top motivational podcast here in the Philippines. It reached levels that I have never expected, just because of the fact that I doubled down on my strength. And so The reason why a lot of us are struggling with our careers is because we were programmed to stay away from our strength. We thought that after high school, after all the subjects available, we thought that we just need to be the jack of all trades. We just need to be, we just need to be well rounded. That's what we thought. But I thought of it this way: maybe the subjects that were taught in high school and in elementary are for you to see which ones you're actually good at. And then you can pick a strand in senior high school or a program in college and a career or a work path when you get out of school. Maybe that's a time when you get to say, okay, this is my strength. I'm going to double down on it. Okay? So there would be a great difference if you choose to focus on your strength, then try to make you the best or the well-rounded person in your group. And so if you want to learn how you can identify your strength, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Again, write these down. There's magic in writing. So again, if you can pause, if you're sitting right now, maybe write this on your journal. Use this as a journal prompt. That can be very helpful as well. So here's some questions that you need to ask. First is, what are your 3 top greatest strengths? So at the top of your head, what are your strengths? And some people, and we all have strengths, okay? We all have our own talents. Here's the strength equation. Maybe some of you are still confused. Ano ba yung strength ko? What is my strength? I'm not clear what my strength is. Basically, the strength equation is strength equals talent times effort. Now, the effort, that's where determination, grit, hard work, discipline comes in. And that can be, that can be changed or that can be increased in terms of its intensity or be decreased. But our talents are God-given gifts. And we all have unique talents. All of us, everyone who's listening here right now, and even those who are not listening here right now, we all have talents. We have unique talents that are only given to us. We are not the same. You have a talent. I have a talent. Every single one has a talent. And it's up to us to figure out what are the talents that I have. Okay? And so if you want to learn what's your top 3 greatest strengths, look at your talents. Look at your talents. Maybe some of your talents are translated into hard skills like editing videos or, mastering Excel or mastering Microsoft Word, and you know all the APAs, the fonts, the formats, the references. You know all that stuff. Maybe you have that skill, or maybe you're more of a creative one. Like you have a hard skill of taking photos, video editing, photo editing, podcasting. Maybe some of those hard skills as well. They can be your strength as well. Or if you have a soft skill like compassion, like leadership, like negotiation, conflict resolution, empathy. Those are soft skills that can be very helpful to figure out maybe that's your strength. Okay? So when you know that your talent is this, now you can figure out, okay, this is my strength if I just put more effort into it, because strength equals talent times effort. And so once you understand your strength, now you can ask yourself this question: what are 3 of your greatest strengths? And if you're still not sure, maybe you can answer it by this one. The second question is, tell me about some of the biggest challenges in your life and how did you overcome them? Because usually, in the darkest moments, that's when we are the strongest, because we have no other option. Sometimes we'll only know how strong we are once becoming strong is our only option. So look at the times where you had a hard time and figure out how did you overcome them. What skills, what talents, what strengths did you have to overcome them? And lastly, ask the question, what do you enjoy doing? Because none of this matters if you're not enjoying what you're doing. Your strength is something that can be, related to your passion. Because your strength isn't something that you just have. It needs to be cultivated. It needs to be harnessed. It needs to be sharpened. And there will be a lot of struggle. So if you don't enjoy the struggle, if you don't enjoy the hardship, if you don't enjoy, you being in a hard place trying to evolve your skill, your strength, then that's useless. So ask yourself these three questions. What are your greatest strengths? Tell me about some of the biggest challenges in your life. How did you overcome them? And what do you enjoy doing? And if you have an answer for those things, then you can figure out a way to know your strength. And in the next episode, I'll also share you some ways that you can use to identify your strength. But I just want you to know right now that this should be the start of your personal development journey in terms of especially if you really want to excel in your career. You need to focus on your strengths. Double down on your strengths. Figure out, if you can't really figure out your weaknesses, then ask someone who sees your weakness as a strength and collaborate with them, work with them. Now you can produce a harmonized, energy with other people so that your work can become more meaningful and more efficient. But it's very important that we start with our strength. I thought before that being a jack of all trades, master of none is much better, but it's not. The titans, the most successful people here in this world, they knew their strengths and they decided to double down on it. No, not double down. Go all in on it. So if they figured out their strength, they go all in, and that's where they see success. And I hope that you use this tool for you to see yourself become the best that you can be. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Guys, if you want to see me live, talk live, and connect with me personally, I am all inviting you to join our heart healing sessions on May 21st. It will be live at PICC Pasay. The link on where you can buy the tickets is located in the description box. Go check it out. But I hope that I can see you guys in person and I can share my insights and my story with you live and in person. So I hope I can see you guys there. Follow me on Instagram at Alec Cuenca. And if you want to join the group coaching sessions that I have every Mondays, 8 p.m., just go to the Better Me Project or bit.ly/the Better Me Project to join. And so that's all. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Alec Cuenca, and this is Small Talk, Small Conversations with Huge Impact. And I'll talk to you guys next episode. Bye-bye.